Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're looking at a fascinating ancient text, Deuteronomy 21, to see exactly how early Israelite society managed serious disruptions. And as you'll see, their legal code prized community purity and the swift restoration of order over, well, almost everything else.
So you might be wondering, how did these ancient laws handle things like unsolvable crimes, or, say, super intense family disputes? Well, to really get this, we have to grasp their underlying logic of restoration. Basically, every single law was a mechanism built to stamp out chaos instantly before it could ripple through the community. Let's jump straight into our first case.
Section 1. Resolving Unsolved Murders.
Imagine someone is found slain in a field, and there's absolutely no known killer. The elders of the nearest city had to perform a highly precise ritual. They'd actually measure the distance to the surrounding cities. Then, they'd bring a heifer, one that had never been yoked, down into an unsown valley, strike the animal's neck, and wash their hands over it. This was all to clear themselves and their people of the crime.
With the Levitical priests overseeing the whole thing, those elders had to make this incredibly solemn declaration right there in the valley. Our hands have not shed this blood, neither have our eyes seen it. This ritual officially absolved the local leadership.
The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that they weren't just trying to solve a crime, at least not in a modern forensic sense. This was a strict legal procedure designed entirely to remove the spiritual guilt of innocent blood from the land. Without that, the community simply couldn't move forward.
Moving on to Section 2, Rules of Captivity and Inheritance.
Now, what if a man desired a captive woman from war? The law stepped in to force a pause on immediate impulses. It mandated a really strict, month-long transitional period. The woman had to shave her head, pare her nails, and mourn her parents for 30 full days before he could officially make her his wife.
But here's an interesting legal protection that followed. If, down the line, he had no delight in her, he couldn't just sell her, she had to go completely free. She absolutely could not be treated as merchandise for money because, as the text notes, he had humbled her.
This code also fiercely protected assets, especially the firstborn's inheritance. Let's say a father favored one wife over another. The law flat out forbade him from transferring the coveted double portion to the favored wife's son if the true firstborn belonged to the less favored wife. It's a fascinating safeguard.
The text justifies this rule by defining the actual firstborn legally as the beginning of his strength. That phrasing locked in the son's inherent right to the double portion, completely regardless of the father's personal feelings or household drama.
Finally, let's look at Section 3, Punishing Rebellion and Crime.
The law dealt with severe domestic disruptions too. If a son exhibited a very specific set of traits, being deeply stubborn and rebellious, ignoring his parents, refusing all correction, and living as a glutton and a drunkard, the parents couldn't just sweep it under the rug. They were actually instructed to bring him out to the elders at the city gates for public judgment.
The prescribed penalty for this level of unyielding, chronic disruption to both the family and the society was extreme. We're talking capital punishment here, via stoning by the men of the city.
This quote really hits the nail on the head regarding their rationale for such an uncompromising punishment. It was a public mechanism designed strictly to purge evil from their midst. It acted as a powerful, unavoidable deterrent so that all Israel would, quote, hear and fear.
In a similar vein, if a criminal committed a sin worthy of death and was hanged on a tree, the law was crystal clear. Their body could not remain there overnight. They had to be buried that exact same day. No exceptions.
Why the massive rush, right? Well, because leaving an accursed body exposed would defile the land that was given to them as an inheritance. This once again proves that maintaining spiritual and communal purity was the ultimate, overarching goal behind all of these statutes.
So it leaves us with this huge question. If modern law focuses so heavily on individual rights, how does understanding this ancient framework of community purity change how we view history? It's a massive contrast, isn't it? It really makes you wonder how entirely different paradigms of justice shape a society's long-term survival.